Hey y'all, Billy from Perma Pastures Farm. Okay, this is exciting for me because not only are we planting trees, we're adding all of the guilds around it. All of those things that are gonna help your trees. Before I get into any of the other stuff we've done or what we're gonna do, remember we got that Back to the Land Festival this weekend. You're gonna have all kinds of cool stuff there. Great fun for the kids, live Nashville musicians out there blowing it up, pig demonstrations, compost, you name it, all kinds of good stuff. But the best part is the fellowship we're all gonna have. So look forward to seeing you there. Remember, go to the website right up there and they have one-day tickets and they also have tickets for the whole weekend. So go check it out. Okay. What we're getting in today is we're going to talk about trees. And folks, I know fall is the favorite time of year for most people. And to a certain extent it is for me, but also spring is because I love seeing new life come around. Okay, we're going to set all that up for spring. Okay, before I get into any of what we're going to do with the trees, let's talk about this area all through here that looks like it does. You see that big sea of green you see there? Okay, that's cowpea and buckwheat. But before then, it was all that nasty thicket you see up there, okay? Silvergrass, thickets, trees that we don't necessarily want. That was all there, but we ran the pigs through first. They did 99% of it. After they were done, we basically got rid of what they didn't do. Then Justin from Metcalf Mills came through with his machine, made a terrace up there. It's more of a walking path than anything, based on our design, which is gonna unfold over a period of time. Okay, all that happened. We got the cowpea and the buckwheat. Because this soil was so jacked up, we basically needed something to outcompete the weeds and also put into the soil all the things that was missing. Because I got news for you. If you see thorns and thickets, that's an open indication that your soil is not what it should be. So we put those in there to hold the spot and to outcompete the weeds. Because as you can see, there isn't a single, well, you can call them weeds, but we call them pioneer species. They're there because there's something missing in your soil. Well, we got the ground covered with that, and then bam, first thing we did is plant these trees. Now, in our design, every third tree is gonna be a nitrogen fixer. So what you don't see on the other side of this dump trailer over here, right there's a black locust that we put in. I dug it up from somewhere else, replanted it right here. Now we got a peach, majestic peach. And okay, as we go down, we got a little path that comes up here, and then we pick it up with a fig right here, okay? And then we talked about it in the previous video, what this fig, maybe it's not in the best place possible, but because of our steep terrain and because of our microclimates, we're able to put things in places that they ordinarily wouldn't be, okay? Now, in close proximity to that fig, what do we have here? Another nitrogen fixer. In this case is a black locust. We're gonna get other nitrogen fixers in here, things that I really love to look at. And we'll talk about those in the future. Now, the cool thing about having these nitrogen fixers in between your productive trees, like I said, every third tree, except in this area here, is that it will take atmospheric nitrogen, put it down into its roots, put it in these nodules that are gonna be of a great benefit to this apple tree that's sitting right here. Folks, it is extraordinary. Not only does it put nitrogen in there, it harbors all the beneficial insects that will protect this tree, okay? All those beneficial insects, basically, every would-be predator bug that wants to mess with this tree has got to go through a minefield. Basically, every time you put a nitrogen fixer out there, view it as a minefield outside of Guantanamo Bay. You got to breach that minefield before you get to this. That's part of it. There's also going to be a support guild of nitrogen fixers around this as well. Okay, let's keep on trucking. A little bit away, we got another, what do we got here? This is a Keeper pear. All these trees came on the discount rack, and I want to give a shout out to the homesteading pastor for even giving me the idea, because honestly, 9 times out of 10, I've always stuck with bare roots, and they're still the best in my opinion. But hey, when I can get a tree for 10 bucks or $5, I'm going to take it. Okay, what do we got here? We got a Santa Rosa plum adorned with all the comfrey leaves. And then finally, last one here, my favorite apple, at least it was my favorite apple until recently. This is a Honeycrisp, okay? So this is where we're going to start. And then back on the other side of that Honeycrisp, what do we got? Close proximity. Got another black locust, our nitrogen fixer, the Minefield, okay? Now that's what we're going to do today. We're going to provide this tree and all the other trees out here with everything they need to make it, okay? So instead of just spraying sprays and all that kind of stuff, look, folks, we don't do it. We also go back to Mark Shepard's STUN method, which stands for strategic, total, utter neglect. Now, that's not entirely what it is, but we don't baby anything. If it's too disease ridden, we're not going to baby it. We're not going to spray any junk. If it doesn't make it, then we'll just we'll overgraft it. We'll do something else, but we're not going to spray anything. But we're going to give it every opportunity to survive in this climate, just like we have with all of our other trees. Okay. So with that said, let me go ahead and get my bucket over here, and we're going to get to it. All right, y'all, we're going to start here. If you hear the pigs in the distance, they're out there enjoying the pigness of the pig. And like I said, I can't thank them enough for clearing all this stuff out. As a little side note, right up here, you can see a peach. It was here when we bought this place. We didn't even know it. It was surrounded by, I mean, every thicket you can imagine. So right next to it, you'll see a nitrogen fixer. It's a black locust situated right there next to it. Okay, I don't know what the variety, I don't know what that cultivar is, but I will say it is the best peach I ever had in my life. So everything else got cleared out that we didn't need or want, and that one is the last person standing. Okay, now in our bucket here, this is how simple it's going to be. We're going to put around this tree things that are only going to aid it. Okay, and also this tree, to a certain extent, aids the things we're going to plant. Now, what you see in here, situated in here, among all this cowpea and buckwheat, right here is buckwheat, y'all. Bam. Buckwheat seeds ready to rock and roll. This here is comfrey. Okay, I got that situated approximately. Everybody always wonders about spacing. I did a video on Patreon where we talk about my simple spacing method where I use a shovel, where I have check marks on the shovel. You can go check that out if you like. But over here, we got comfrey. Over here, we have comfrey. On the top side, we have comfrey. And this slope is going this way. It's probably hard to convey in that film. Okay, that's our outer ring. What does that comfrey do? It's basically a dynamic accumulator. We coppice it or chop and drop it. We chop it, and then we put it around this tree for the benefit of it. Now, it has a little wood mulch around there that came in the bucket that the tree came in. So there's comfrey, believe it or not, on the bottom side of it. And then we cover it up with some of that wood mulch and just to see if it's going to stay in place. So, okay, that's our first outer defense. And that is for nothing more, especially in this very steep terrain, as providing a mulch ring for this tree. And all those wonderful nutrients that comfrey's pulling up, it's now for the benefit of that tree. Okay, you dig? Okay, now I got this right off the shelf, and we typically don't do this. We get our stuff other ways. Now, we're going to treat this tree as if it's the president of the United States, okay? Now, how do they protect the president? They do rings of security around the president. Okay, so in that case, first thing we're going to mess with is, like I said, I got these on the discount rack. We got some tulips in here. They're really, look, to be permaculture, it doesn't always have to have a physical use. It can be just because it's pretty. Tulips are beautiful. Okay, but our main star of the show right here are these daffodils. And typically we don't buy them this way, but for demonstration purposes, this is what I'm going to do. Ordinarily, we would put an inner ring within the mulch ring and an outer ring, okay? Not only are these beautiful to look at, they're the first thing to pop up in the spring, which is awesome. But you know what else they're going to do? They're going to deter deer and other browsers. But we got other methods for deterring them as well. Okay, so on 3 sides, I got 3 of them here. I'm just going to, it's really this simple. I'm just going to dig a hole on this outer ring, just like that. If you want, you could, and then, okay, root side down, we're going to stick it in there, cover it up. We got one there. I'm going to do the same thing right here. Get it down in there. I like to work in 3s. That way, I know exactly where I put everything. Okay. Oops, got to get it a little bit deeper. Okay, daffodils are in. Really that simple. Okay, now the tulips are for nothing more than because I think they're beautiful, okay? Now we got daffodil, 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 like a triangle, like this way, okay? Now I'm going to do it the opposite way with the tulips. Now I got 2 different types here. One is a Royal Prince, and the other is an Emperor mix. Okay, remember, daffodil, daffodil, daffodil. Now I'm going to do the tulip, one here at the bottom. And it really, I mean, these guys are going to do well in most cases, so, and I know they're going to do well here. So we got one at the bottom, and then I'm going to put 2 in opposite corners up here. Tulip, and tulip. Now this ground is especially still soft because it wasn't long ago that Justin went ahead and did it. Okay, now next on the list, garlic. And we do inner and outer rings of this, but so we don't make this video so long, I'm gonna do it so you get the point. Now, garlic, I normally stick within the mulch ring, but for demonstration purposes, I got 3 of them here, 3, and this is garlic that we harvested from last year. So I'm just gonna do the same thing. 1 here, okay. Oops, we'll almost put this one in the mulch ring. 1 here. And then 1 here. Okay, it's gonna look a little bit differently in this particular case because we're on very, very steep terrain. So when spring rolls around, tulips and daffodils are gonna pop up. Okay, now, I know a fair amount of you that have been with us for a while are saying, okay, well, why do you need it there for deer repellent? Well, it's not just the deer. The voles and stuff like that don't like it either. We'll also come back and add a little bit of hardware cloth around the base of this tree for any rabbits or anything else that feels like it. Well, rabbits probably ain't gonna wanna come around here in a minute, but we'll go ahead. Maybe the dogs get a wild hair and they wanna come over here and chew on something. That's primarily why we'd put it on. Okay, next thing in the rotation. And this is the pièce de résistance in my opinion. Now I got my bone sauce bag and one of the things I got in there is a paintbrush. And this here's our 4-ounce bone sauce. And folks, I'm gonna demonstrate just how far you can take this stuff. You don't need to go to the very top of your tree. You just need to be at browsing height of whatever your deer or rabbits are gonna want. So, the stuff is very thick in most cases. When it gets hot, it gets a little more liquidy. I'm gonna put a little bit on the brush and check this out. I'm just gonna go up. It's best to do this in a dormant state if you're gonna be in a place where leaves could potentially be. So we got this all the way around. You can go 360 all the way around the base of this tree, dig. You can even come out on the limbs like so. You can put this stuff just about everywhere you don't see green, okay? And this is going to protect your tree for a long, long, long time. Now, if you need any of this bone sauce, you can go to our website, permapasturesfarm.com, get it there. If you need comfrey, we sell that also. Folks, and essentially, that is a wrap. This is all we need to do to not only protect this tree, but give it the best opportunity to make it through until next time. So until next time, this is Billy, this is Billy, I'm gonna say it differently, from Perma Pastures Farm, where permaculture is my passion. We'll see y'all next time.